Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to this webinar arranged by the Tre Prinsipper Norway community. My name is Helga Holmberg. Tre is a non-profit organization whose mission is to spread the understanding of the three principles as first discovered by Sydney Banks. We aim to be a Norwegian community for everyone interested in the three principles. And tonight I'm so happy to have Dicken Bettinger with us. He is a psychologist and he is one of the world leading international communicators of the understanding of the principles. He has been so lucky that he himself had met Sydney Banks, and he has also has had him as a teacher for about 23 years. He has also written 2 books together with Natasha Swerdloff, and the latest one was published just some months ago. It's really something to recommend. And I also want to just say that there are a lot of videos with Dicken on YouTube, so if you want to hear more, you can go there and find more. And we also will link to websites and things in the description. And title of today is From Fear to Love. And I just want to share a bit about how this webinar was created. It's my dearest friend and a really good support for me during my work in Tre Prinsipper, Sonja Christensen, who's made this happen. Only 1.5 weeks ago, I met Sonja on a video call, and she was like she seemed so happy and content and like confidence in herself. And she said, I have to share something with you. You know, Dicken has been on his summer vacation. He has seen something new. And he shared that with me. And then Sonja shared it with me. And for me too, it was like, it really like hit my heart. And I think it made me see something deeper in my understanding. And the same evening, Sonja and I was talking to each other again, and we said it would be so cool if we could have Dicken coming here to Tre Prinsipper and share this with all of us in the community. And it happens really fast. You were in Vancouver this weekend, but Dicken said yes, Sonja asked, and here we are tonight. So with this, Dicken, I would love to put it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have so many fond memories of the times I've come to Norway and been able to travel around Norway and visit.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh. We can't hear you, Dicken. Nice. Yeah. Everyone else is still here, yes? Mm-hmm. And you can't see Dicken either? Just frozen picture? Oh, Dicken?
Yes.
We lost you for almost everything you have said. Your picture frozen, and we didn't hear you.
Oh, well, that's
so
what I had to say. Again. That's my message.
Oh, no, it's happening. Okay. Yeah, be quiet.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
It is.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking with a client, and we're talking about how in a quiet mind we find everything that we're looking for. And so I guess that message was still with me. And well, I was saying how much I've loved the times I've been in Norway. And how fortunate I've been to have friends in Norway where I could stay with them, and we traveled around all different places. And one day, about 5 years after I started learning the principles, I had started my own Three Principles Center. It was one of the first ones in the United States. And I was sitting in my office, and the phone rang, and it was Sydney Banks. Oh, I said, and we talked about the weather. How's the weather there? Good, 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 good. And then he started doing, it was one of his ways of teaching. And he said to me, Dicken, you have to go beyond the psychological to the spiritual. And I said, yes, I know, that's really important. And he goes, no, because he could see I was responding from my intellect, what I thought I knew. Oh, I know about the spiritual. I know it's important. I know. And he goes, no, Dicken, you have to take people beyond the psychological to the spiritual. And I said, yeah, I really try to do that, Sid. And he goes, no, Dicken, you have to take people beyond the psychological to the spiritual. And what started happening is I started going, maybe I don't really know what he's trying to point me toward right now. Psychological to the spiritual about 10 times. And then he said, well, good talking to you, Dicken. And he hung up. But by then, I don't know what happened, but by then, my mind was still. And I looked around my office, and it was like everything looked beautiful. My mind was so quiet, and I felt the word that comes to me, I felt an intimacy, an incredible closeness with anything I was looking at. And the feeling was so beautiful. And then later on, working with clients, there was just such ease because my mind was so quiet. I was just living completely in the present moment and fresh and alive. And I go, oh, Sid didn't want me to think about what he was saying. He wanted me to drop out of my thinking and experience our true nature. Not the words, not to be thinking about it, but to fall out of my thinking and experience what's always here when we do that. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So recently, I was doing the opening talk at a 4-day gathering of all the people who had been mentored by Sydney Banks. We're going to do like a last hurrah gathering, and not a conference, but just where each of us would share what was most helpful and alive in sharing with and being with Sydney Banks, and what we learned that has been so inspiring for us and helpful. And I got quiet and I was preparing, and a whole new metaphor occurred to me, as Sonia had mentioned. Hi, Sonia. Good to see you. And here's the metaphor. Very simple. Now, I want you to just imagine that right here, there's this like invisible wall that goes all the way out to infinity. And in front of us, in front of all of us, is the world that has taken form. So when I open my eyes right now, I see my computer, that's a form, and I see books, and I see a light, and I see your faces. I see people, I see things that are happening in the world of form. So in front of us is the whole world of form. Now, psychologically, what's in front of us is what's already been created because now it's taken form. So a thought that you have that you can hear or recognize, that's in the world of form, that's in front of us. Our feelings that we can recognize, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm upset, that's in the world of form. Behaviors we do, that's in the world of form. Now, I'd been a psychologist 10 years before meeting Sydney Banks. And the only thing we talked about in psychology was thought content, feeling content, and behavior content. And there were whole schools of psychology that focused on what were you thinking, whole schools focused on what were you feeling, whole schools, what did you do? And all of psychology for 200 years focused on what's in front of us. Sid Banks comes along, he said, isn't it curious that no one is interested in what's creating what's in front of us? And now science is very intrigued by what's behind us. So I want you to imagine that behind you, there's nothing but formless, invisible life energy. In a recent research study done by a group of physicists, they spent years and years measuring the energy of what's in front of us in our universe, not all the universes, but in our universe. With the most powerful telescopes, the largest stars that could be seen, all the stars and planets and asteroids and all of that, to the most powerful subatomic microscopes. So the smallest particles that have been taken form and come into existence, neutrinos, protons, all the little electrons and neutrons and all the atoms. And if you add up the energy from everything in the universe that has form, it only accounts for 4% of the energy in the universe. "96% of the energy in our universe can't be seen. It's invisible. They call it dark energy or dark matter. It's what Sid called the spiritual. Without that life energy, nothing would exist. You look around the room you're in, everything that you see didn't exist at one point. Look at the people on this webinar. At one point, we didn't exist. And then there was one cell, and then another cell, and they had a party, and then it started being more and more cells. And pretty soon, some of those cells became heart, some became lungs, some became skin. Where's all that coming from? Well, both science and people who have experienced this creative, formless dimension all agree that everything comes out of the 96%. So when Sid Banks had his enlightenment experience, he went beyond his thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and concepts into absolute stillness and found out it was the true nature of life is living, breathing, vital energy, full of creative potential, full of the intelligence that knows how to turn nothing into something. Full of conscious energy so that every single cell created in the universe has awareness. So generous and giving, constantly giving life, loving life, giving life, creating life. So if we think we're the 4%, that's what I call ego. It's a case of mistaken identity because our true nature is 100%. The 4% is like a wave on the ocean. That's our body. But we're connected to this field of energy. That's the ocean of consciousness. Without that energy, we couldn't exist. Now, we're very comfortable with saying, listen, all of you are on a computer or a phone. Without an energy source, you wouldn't call it a computer and you wouldn't call it a phone. It wouldn't work. You take away the energy source, nothing works. If you took away the energy source without the principle of thought or consciousness or mind, we'd be dead in an instant. There'd be nothing creating us, living us, breathing us. There's something living us right now as breathing, beating our hearts, creating mental activity, generating new cells constantly. They say every 7 years, your whole body is completely changed out and nothing in it's the same as it was 7 years ago. And yet we say, I'm still here. I'm the same person. I'm Dicken Bettinger from when I was a little kid, and now I'm 79 years old. I'm still here, Dicken. What is it that's still here? That which doesn't come and go. Okay, so Sid says, when people get into trouble, they get so wedded on focusing on something in the world of form and thinking about it that they forget they're connected to the source of love, wisdom, and creativity. That's ego. That's suffering. We get caught up in our thinking. We start thinking our thinking, especially our negative thinking, is true. And then we start thinking, that's who I am. I am this. I am fearful. I am upset. I am this. I am a man. I can't do this. I can do this. That's ego. And he said, one time Sid says, you know what ego is? Everything you think. And then he said, you know what ego is? It's fear. So there's only one psychological problem for any human being anywhere in the world. And I've seen this to be true. I've been a psychologist 40 years. People get caught up in thought, think it's true, and then they think that's who I am. They don't know that I am the 100%. They go, no, I'm the 4% that's contracted, tense, stressed, upset. That's who I am. One problem. It's a misunderstanding. It's a forgetting. We forget. It's like a wave thinking I'm a little teeny wave. I'm a 4% wave. And someone comes along and says, look down. Like Sid Banks told me to look within. And I went, oh my God, I'm water. And then I started going, oh my God, we're all water. So we're all human beings. And the human is talking about how cool it is that each of us little waves on the ocean are different. That's cool. That's very cool. I love, we're all different, and that's to be celebrated. But as beings, we're one ocean. We're all the same. So before Sid Banks came along, psychology only studied what was already created, thought content, feeling content, behavior content. And there were 450 different theories to try and help people. Everybody had a different idea because there were no universal principles. Sid comes along and says, what's behind us is what's fundamental to us. It's what's living us, creating us, breathing us. And he says, turn around. The only way you can discover what's behind you, you can't think your way to it. The computer can't know what's beyond the computer. You can be the smartest person in the world, and if you keep thinking, it'll get complicated and difficult and confusing. It's the one problem. If you're in a relationship and you keep focusing on what's out in front of you and thinking about it, you'll get more and more caught up in your thinking. And when we get caught up in our thinking innocently, our mind closes up and that life energy has trouble flowing through us. And when we fall out of our thinking and our minds become open and receptive, that life energy flows through us, so that when I'm caught up in thought, and when I go, oh, I'm holding thought, that's the only problem. And I let go of everything I'm thinking and become fully present. That thinking falls away and that flow starts coming through me. That whole field of force of life energy starts flowing through my physical being. And I feel better. It feels good when it's flowing. Think of a garden hose with water flowing through it, and you bend the hose and pressure builds up and it doesn't flow. And then you let go and there's flow. We're the same way. Same way. And when it flows through, we feel better. And because it's full of the intelligence that knows how to create the universe, we become wiser. We do better in any situation. Any situation. Athletes know how to become fully present so the flow can come through, and then they just know what to do. Look at Lionel Messi. I love watching him. He just walks around wide open and receptive, and that flow is coming through, and he just knows where to go and when to go and where to be. I've worked with top business executives. When they fall out of this, the confusion, the unclarity, the problems fall away, and they get very clear and insightful and responsive and can deal with problems well. Anybody that's true for. I work with the homeless. They're living in painful memory and thoughts, and it's all pretty negative, and they realize, oh, that's just holding thought. one problem, and when they feel this way, they start falling out of it instead of doing more thinking. It's very interesting. Most adults, when they feel stress or upset, you know what they do? More thinking. Because they think the answer is out in front of them in the world, so they're trying to figure it out, what to do, how to deal with things. The answer doesn't lie in the computer. You never go to a computer for love or wisdom. You don't. You can Google really cool stuff. It's really good for getting information. It's really good. I love and so when we use our intellect wisely, we're getting good information that's helpful and it feels good. But as soon as we misuse the intellect looking for answers, there's tension. And that tension is not a bad thing that you're trying to get rid of. It's a good thing. It's like a loving reminder that there's something behind you. It's a loving reminder that you're connected to wisdom. It's a loving reminder that if you quiet down, you'll feel better and do better and know better. Guaranteed. It's how we work, how anybody works. In AA, they say when you're caught up in your thinking, it's stinking thinking. Alcoholics Anonymous. Stinking thinking. And then you let go of stinking thinking. You let go and let God, let this intelligent, universal life force flow through you and guide you. Lift your spirits. So Sid would try to simplify this for us, and he'd say, okay, if you want to tap into love and wisdom, you have to go beyond, remember, you have to go beyond all your personal thinking. So temporarily close your laptop, stop trying to figure out life and thinking about it. Just come back and rest in the present moment, wide open, not focusing on something and thinking about it, but wide open. And you'll discover within yourself, underneath all this noise, quiet. It says you're looking for silence, you're looking for quiet. It's always here. The noise is up here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what's happening out there. Don't try to stop, fix, or change anything out there. Look within. There's a quiet. And as you rest in the quiet of the present moment, the peacefulness of the present moment, the peacefulness of awareness, there's a feeling. And you don't have to label it, but it's a good feeling. You're not in your conceptual mind, so you don't have to say. If you were to say, you might say it's peaceful or happy or loving or it's just a quiet and a nice feeling. That's what you're looking for, because the nice feeling is the doorway to wisdom, where you know what to do in any situation. Any situation. So I'm working with a lot of war refugees in Africa right now. And they're loving this. Because if they're caught up in thought, they're caught up in very, very, very painful memories of the horrors of war that they escaped. Many of them have seen friends and family killed right in front of their eyes. Horrible memories. And if they get caught up in that thinking, they just suffered terribly, and then they turn to alcohol or drugs or violence or sex or something to try and feel better. They look for the answer on the outside. And as they learn this, when they feel this way, they start seeing it as a gift, like an alarm clock going off to wake us back up to the now. It's not saying you're doing something wrong or bad. It's saying wake up, open up, become open and receptive so that this life energy can start flowing through you again and lift your spirits and guide you through difficult situations. And these people now are thriving. And they're, as soon as they learn something about this, they go out and start sharing it with other people, and it's spreading that way like wildfire all through Africa. It's now we have 3P projects in 6 countries. It just keeps spreading, and it's going into alcohol healing. People, so many people, alcohol is the biggest problem among adults. And then it's going into helping women who've lost their husbands, who have kids and are struggling. And so they begin to find peace of mind and presence and what it means to live in the now and access their own common sense and wisdom to guide them through their parenting challenges. And then working with kids, young kids, little kids, teenagers, and helping them find their well-being and live from it. So Sid would say one problem and one cure. Look within, there's a quiet, there's a feeling. Our body does one of two things. It contracts and it expands. Fear, some people say there's only 2 primary emotions, fear and love. So fear is an invitation to let go. And then your energy naturally will start to radiate again. Here's another metaphor. When I grew up, they had radios that had 2 knobs. One was the volume, on-off volume, and one was the stations. And you had to turn the dial to find a music station, for example. And as you were going, if you weren't tuned in to a station, you'd get static. So it'd go, and then all of a sudden there'd be music when you got a station. Our minds are the same way. When we're caught up in our thinking, there's so much static up here that we can't hear the signal of wisdom and love. Can't hear it. You don't get a good connection. But when you get relaxed, open, present, the music of the universe plays through you. Isn't that cool? Now listen to this. The music is always here in the air, but you can't hear it unless you're tuned in and unless your receiver is open and receptive. You with me on this? Is this making sense to people? I'm just using metaphors to try and talk about how we're all connected to the universe. And if we don't know that, we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on things and thinking about them. And that is what suffering is. For any of us, for me too. It seems counterintuitive that if you have a problem and you stop thinking about it altogether, that you're not avoiding and denying that you have a problem. You're falling into a space where you're more creatively responsive to that problem. It stops being a problem and becomes an invitation to be creative. And your little pea brain will be going, oh, this is impossible. This is too hard. Well, the computer has no hope The computer is not wisdom of the universe. The computer will never know the answer. So Sid would say, if you want an answer to anything in life, love is always, always the answer. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, I don't know, but what I'm learning is that when I'm caught up in fear, Sid helped me say, when you feel this way, ignore everything you're thinking, let it go. Just don't pay any attention to it. It's all garbage. Nothing there. It's not bad or wrong, but you don't eat garbage. You put it, you let it go. You get quiet and then see what occurs to you new and fresh. You can't think your way to good feeling. You can't think your way to new and fresh. You can't think your way to insights, inspiration, motivation, clarity, perspective, common sense. It's when we get quiet, this deeper intelligence will bring us exactly what we need. In other words, very simply, we'll feel better and then we'll know better how to deal with something. So the answer comes from wisdom. When we get quiet and we're in that feeling of connection, it's the most practical thing I've ever learned in my, it's very practical. I'm with my wife. If I'm doing a lot of thinking, we don't have a connection. She won't feel that I'm being loving. She won't feel that I'm listening to her if I'm doing a lot of thinking, because I'm creating fear. That's closing the door. And for 2 years, I experimented. So every time I felt this way with my wife, instead of thinking our relationship was the problem or she was the problem, she was very happy when I learned the principles. I couldn't blame other people for my feeling this way anymore. It's me holding no one else. I would, for 2 years, whenever I felt this way and didn't feel close to my wife, I'd just come back to the present moment, relax, wait until I felt better. And as soon as I felt better, I'd go be with my wife. And every time I went to see her, she looked so cute. She was so beautiful. She could be in the worst mood ever, being very critical, and I'm in a quiet mind and a state of love. So here's another way of saying this. Sid Banks talked a lot about what he called the state of no thought and the feeling of love. So he'd say, the state of no thought is when we're fully present and we're like my metaphor, like the sky. And thoughts are just like the birds flying through, and the sky doesn't try and control, stop, fix the birds. The thoughts are not the problem. Grabbing onto a bird and holding onto it and thinking about it is the problem. There's a lot of squawking that goes on. The Chinese have a great saying, let the birds of unhappiness fly through the sky of your mind. Just don't grab onto one and have it build the nest on your head. Pretty soon there'll be babies and, all right? So that's the state of no thought. Sid says, doesn't mean you don't have thoughts. You could have a whole flock of squawking birds flying through the sky, but you're just present. You're not thinking about the birds. You're not trying to stop them. You're not trying to improve them. You're not saying they shouldn't be there. You're just present and they're flowing. You're back in the flow. He said, only from the state of no thought can we access love and wisdom. They go hand in hand. When we're in the state of no thought and you're in that, you've opened up and the flow of life energy is coming through you, that's love. Put them together because they go together. So Sid says, the state of no thought and the feeling of love are coupled together like lovers. Come on, guys. Wow. They go together. You find the state of no thought, you'll start feeling closer to people and to life. Look at, I loved in Norway walking out into nature, hiking. And if we're in our heads thinking while we're hiking, we don't even see the trees. We don't even see the beauty around us. If we fall fully present while we're hiking, you go, oh my God, look how beautiful that is. Oh, look at that. Oh God, that's so beautiful. You fall in love with the trees, with the waterfalls, with the birds, with your friends. Falling in love is a metaphor. From your head, fear, to your heart, love. Let go. Surrender. Don't hold. Awakens the light within, and it shines through, bringing warmth and nourishment to you and to the world. So Sid would say, look within, find a nice feeling, and allow it to come into the world. Smile, kindness, listening, presence, sharing your creative insights. And the more you give from that feeling, the more you get. I've never seen a relationship improve by people being caught up in thought and sharing their judgments and negativity with each other. It gets old very quick. The same couple, both get caught up, but they understand how this works and they stand under their thinking. They step back into the quiet invisible and let that energy manifest, flow through, and bring nice feelings to each other. And a relationship can turn around very quickly. And if you're in a very abusive relationship, you quiet down and you get into that feeling and you don't become stupid, you become wiser, and it'll guide you how to take care of yourself so you don't get hurt. Wisdom is very loving and responsive. It'll bring you what you need. Okay, let's open it up to, I'd love to hear if you've heard something new or fresh, because Sid would say that's what you're looking for. Up here, you only have old, stored information. When you drop down here, you get new and fresh feelings, insights, perspectives, ideas. You're looking for new and fresh. So if anybody wants to share what's new and fresh, or if you have a burning question, I'll be glad to answer any of those too.
Yeah, so just raise your hand or raise your digital hand or your hand if you have anything. It's a great opportunity now in Norway to ask Dicken whatever you want to. And if someone doesn't want to speak English. I can also translate from Norwegian.
Eva, hi, Eva. Eva, hello.
Hi, Dicken. Long time.
Hi, long time. Yeah, good to see you.
You too. You talked about the source for the computer. And I just got a new image. Because what do you do if the wire to the computer is broken? Not the source, the electricity, not that. But the wire, if it's damaged, what do? You will get a new one. So I saw that also as patterns of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So a wire is a pattern of thinking.
Yeah.
So if it is not working, you have to have another pattern of thinking.
Like that. Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's not the same as the source, but it just came to me that, okay, I can understand that and I can bring that forth to people.
Yes.
So because you are very good at using analogies and pictures, and I think it's one of the things that people can understand.
Well, one time Sid says you can only talk about what's behind us by metaphor.
Mm.
That's the only way you can talk about it, because it's unknown, it's invisible, it's unknowable by the intellect. So you have to use metaphors not to describe it, but to try and point people toward it.
Because in the moment you're trying to describe it, then it's a form.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And I really love that the metaphor with the radio tuning in.
Yeah, tuning in.
But now the recent years, you don't have that kind of radio. So,
No.
so you have to be an adult to get that picture. So because the young people or children, they don't know about that.
No, they don't. I wouldn't use that.
We
I
have
wouldn't
to
use
find
that
another
metaphor.
one.
Yeah, I have different metaphors. Yeah.
So it was just what I saw today, and some new stuff.
Nina.
Hi. So nice to listen with us.
Oh, I love your name. It's my daughter's name.
I know you told me. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like my name. I think, I don't know if I saw something new, but I saw something clearer and closer to me, I think.
Yeah, that's new. Yeah.
When
Clear.
you did like this,
Yeah.
when you did like this, I saw all the good things.
Oh.
And they have my back when they are there. They are closer. They are, and I have experienced being touched from this air. And there have been different kinds of reminders. It could be stress or thinking, but mostly it has been pain. And I had to surrender, but I didn't know quite how to surrender sometimes.
Yeah. No.
But then suddenly I just surrender. And then there is this flow, this storm of love, of touch that is so soft, so tender. So now this flow, this love, this tenderness came so close to me.
It's healing.
Yeah.
When we're caught in painful thoughts or judgments about ourselves or the world, we suffer. Letting go of painful thoughts and judgments is what I would call true forgiveness, because true forgiveness takes people from anger and fear back to love and understanding. It brings us into harmony with the universe. So it's healing.
Mm.
So every time you see this, and in that surrender, touch something deeper, the quiet, the feeling, the knowing, healing happens.
And
It was
it's
beautiful.
yeah, and it's so surprising that so much richdom
Yeah, I know.
can suddenly pop up and the reality is changed.
I know. That's what Sid would call a shift in consciousness.
Yeah.
We suddenly become open instead of closed, and this force shifts us to a higher level of feeling and knowing.
Mm.
And it's a powerful force. It's the force that creates the universe. I mean, it can do anything.
Mm.
But we have to be open and receptive to get the benefits of that. And then it's only by, in a sense, being it that we realize it becomes real. It's no longer an idea.
Mm. Thank you.
Well, Nina, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Hey, Martin. There you be. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
It's been a while. Good to see you.
It has been. It's been a long time. It's great to see you too.
Oh, thanks.
I wanted to ask because this has come up a lot lately, and I've been doing a lot of coaching within like the sporting world,
Yeah.
and seeing, a lot of these kids, not really, I don't think they're going to the professional level, but they're, trying to do the best they can at the level that they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing them get caught up with whatever's going on. And I was just kind of curious about kind of hearing maybe you relate this into the sporting world. And I know, like we mentioned, obviously this like Norwegian, and when they were playing in the World Cup, it just seemed like they were having like the most fun. And
Yeah.
it was a real joy to watch Norway that World Cup. They were a lot of fun. They were like I think everybody was rooting for them in the U.S. after the U.S.
They
was
were.
out.
They were. Well, a lot of people in sports think that you have to get really serious to do well.
Mhm.
And serious means we're concentrating and trying and efforting. So we're doing a lot of thinking that's creating that tension. And when we fall out of that, we lighten up. And so it's good for kids to learn that when they're enjoying themselves and having fun, their learning curve is much steeper. They learn much quicker. If kids aren't having fun, their learning curve stops or even gets worse. So I coached kids for a long time in football, soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And we had so much fun practice. And they got better and better, and they fell in love with the sport. And then it brought out the best in each one of them. And so I kept looking for how can I make this enjoyable for these kids so that they love it, right? And then occasionally I would talk to kids about if you get thinking too much when something isn't going well, it makes it even harder. So if something doesn't go well, as soon as you feel this, just let it go. I might share something like that. See if it's helpful. And some kids will pick up on it, and then it'll be really helpful for them. All right? So whatever you've learned, Martin, that's helped you, is you want to simplify that and find the right feeling to share it from, so you enjoy sharing what you've learned with them in a way that's just you talking from what you know, not what you've heard anybody else say, but what you've known is helpful. So you can have these cute little chats with kids about, occasionally you share something that you've learned that's helpful. And that's really powerful then.
That is definitely. I've been talking to a lot of different coaches about like you kind of like a metaphor in baseball, and well, not really a metaphor, I guess, but kind of asking them like, if the bases are loaded and you need to get the next guy out to win the game, and you get to go talk to your pitcher, like what would you kind of say? Because it's one of the few occasions in sports where the coach can actually like go onto the field and actually have a conversation with one of the players before the next play happens. It doesn't occur very often in football or in any other sport, really. But I was like, in baseball, you could actually go do that.
I heard about one coach that the last thing he wanted to do when he went to the pitcher's mound was talk about how the guy was performing, because that would get him in his head even more. So he walked out and just started talking about, I don't know, something completely unrelated to baseball, like his favorite music or his favorite food or something like that. And they just got laughing. All of them were on the mound, and everybody think they're talking about strategy about baseball, and they're just laughing. And it helped the guy settle down and be at his best again.
I love that. That's very different than what a lot of other coaches have said. So
I know.
Appreciate that.
I know. I know. As a coach, you begin to realize the state of mind of the person is the most important thing. And that anything you can do to help them come back to the present moment and tap into that deeper feeling flow, get back in the flow, is going to be helpful. That's your number one priority as a coach.
Yeah.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Yeah,
so good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too, man. Helga, is there something? Oh, there you go.
I just wanted to share a little about what I saw when I heard about this that you said in the beginning. Like, you can imagine that everything you see is the world of form.
Yes.
And as at least Sonia said to me, you have everything you see is the form, but it's also your thoughts and your feelings you can put here. As
they're in front too.
They are in front of me, A
lot of people, when they learn the principles, they do thinking about their thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't help.
So that in itself is like really a good way to say it, just to imagine that actually everything you have thought already, everything you're feeling, it's also in the world of form. And then you have like everything behind you, as you said.
Yeah.
And when Sonia shared with me that, as you say, today as well, this in front of me is 4%. The formless, the love and understanding, is 96%.
Yeah.
And what struck me today was that when you are talking about fear, you are talking about this in front. And if I'm very fearful having very much fearful thoughts, even then it's maybe 3% of it all. If I'm like an ordinary people, maybe it's 1%.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it can
I know.
it can fill your whole world, all your fearful thinking, but it's so small at
It's
the
a
same way.
small part of
Yeah,
all of who we are.
exactly.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just in my thinking and then I just lean back into awareness, which is this
Yeah. And that was the
infinite.
other thing we were talking about that I wanted to share, because you know, I don't know who is doing it, but you know, some like when you're on this self empowering groups and stuff, you're like one person is standing behind you, and then you're going to do like this, you're falling back.
The trustful. Yes.
Trustful, yes. And that was when Sonia shared your insight.
Oh,
That was what I was seeing, that I could just, you know, lean back, and that is even easier than letting go of anything. So I don't have to let go anymore. I can just
yes.
trustful. And
Yes. I
and
love that. Thank you for sharing. I love that
yeah,
metaphor.
I just have to share one more thing, because then she said, because you just said it now, and then when you lean back like this, then the healing is going to happen. And then
It's
I was
going to
just
happen.
goosebumps all over me, and just, yes, that is so true. So you can go out in the world of form and you're looking and looking and looking, how am I going to be healed from something?
Hmm.
But you can just do like this, and that 96% of energy and love
Yeah.
will help you heal from whatever you have to be healed from,
Beautiful.
if you're lucky.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I just had
No,
to
I like
share it,
that.
and because
No,
it
that's,
really
I
meant
really,
much to me.
I love that notion of trustful. You learn to have more and more trust in
Yeah, but you
the,
visualize it so good when you have it all behind you. So
yeah.
yes, look within, but we can also imagine, look, they'll just lean back to all of it.
I used to
Exactly.
say wisdom has my back. And then I talked to my friend Elsie Spitto, and she says, Dicken, wisdom is your back.
Yeah, exactly.
It is your back. Wow. Okay. So why don't we check in with Sonia, and we can come back to you and see.
Yeah, hi Dicken.
Hi, Sonia.
So nice to see you, and I'm really just have to say I'm so glad that we could to make this happen. You're a busy man, and with this great gathering in Vancouver, really thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm a bit nervous because every time I see you, I get a bit starstruck. So, but anyway,
you should know
No,
by
no,
now.
no.
I'm just an ordinary bloke, you know.
But the other thing that's really happening when I see you or listen to you, I listen to your audiobook, the last one. I can really recommend that. Dicken and Natasha has recorded it themselves, so it's really, really, really good. But it's
That's
like,
the name of the book.
yeah, life can be easier than you think. Yes. But it's something about when you shared this with me, you took me there, you know, and you did that now also. And the cool thing is, both Nina and Helga was just talking about this. Well, the feeling of the back, the feeling of the 96%, when it comes without any notice, when it really just I've been really happy and starting to laugh out loud many times, and it's so it's like it's like a blanket on your back, but it's all around you.
It's all around. That's right.
Well, I'm not sure even what was supposed to say here, but I'm just so grateful for this new metaphor, actually, because it really hit me, or something. It did something. Yeah.
It hit me too. I mean, it shows you. I mean, I've been studying these principles for 40 years, and it's like I still get insights that just, oh my gosh, that's so simplifies and beautiful. It's just helping me have more trust and faith in what's behind. It's becoming more and more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about that also, this trust. And I can say that still, I feel a bit. It's easier to grasp this or let it go or let it come, or how I should put it, when it's not about something I do, when it's something I think or have a conception about or concept about, or but when it comes to the doing, but I realized now, I just wrote it down actually, because the doing for me is connected to, again, this old story or stories about not being, I don't know, perhaps good enough to do this and that.
Yeah.
So there's the thinking again, and
yeah, ego is always saying, what do I do?
Yeah.
How do I do it? Trying to figure out something in the world that can make a difference. And Sid says, you're a thought away from everything you're looking for. And it's not a doing or a trying. It's a metaphoric leaning back into open, receptive state of no thought, open sky, presence, and then letting wisdom bring you what you need rather than you trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. You just become open to it.
Yeah. But also the doing in my life also, what I need to do in my life. It's a bit trickier to let that go than to just
we're on a learning curve. Me too. There's times when I forget to let go, or I don't let go, or I'm pretty sure I can figure it out, or I keep thinking about something. I mean, that's just part of being human.
But what I learned this few weeks, 1 week, it's that whenever I got present, the doing is not there, because it's
beautiful.
Just the being. The
beautiful.
Being is getting
beautiful. I'm so glad you're seeing that, Sonia. That's powerful. Yeah, thank you. Renee said she thought maybe it's working now. So let's check back in with Renee and see if that's
Do you hear me?
Yes. Yay.
Yay. I don't know what I clicked, but thank you for giving me another chance. And thank you for being here. And it was actually really helpful to listen to Sonia afterwards, because I think that's exactly what I wanted to share, is that I was 2 days ago in Northern Ireland, and there was a lot of wisdom, I think, there. And we were like, yes, this is great. And then yesterday, somehow when you get caught up again, you think, can it be that easy? You know, can you just lean back and flow with life? And you reminded me again, back to that feeling. And it put a massive smile on my face, because I know, or there is a knowing, and I can trust that knowing.
You can trust it. You can trust it. Yes.
Yeah. And my partner and I were caught up yesterday like this.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
both saw
Oh,
it
yeah.
afterwards, like there's no point to have this conversation. And today there's again that knowing. And you reminded me, and Sonia actually reminded me when she was talking to you again as well, that you sometimes just get confused that it is so simple.
I know.
Yeah.
The intellect cannot grasp simplicity.
No.
It can't grasp simplicity. But it is, Sid would say, you're looking for simplicity. Truth is always found in simplicity. Like, for example, he said, if you're listening to one of my talks on a tape in the car, this was a long time ago, we had little cassette tapes. If you're listening to one of my talks in the car and you get quiet and in a nice feeling, take the tape out, roll your window down, throw it out the window. He said, you found what you're looking for and it was never on the tape. It's always right here. Sid would say, if you can take one little step beyond your precious thought system, something beautiful must come through you. It must. You feel better or get a new idea or a new thought, or you'll get more energy, or you'll know what to do. It's a guarantee if you touch that space beyond. So that's why he kept saying to me, Dicken, you have to go beyond all the psychological, because I was a psychologist. I still was pretty intrigued with content. All right. You have to go beyond all psychology to the spiritual. Wow.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
I'm loving that you're discovering the simplicity of that. And when it gets complicated, that just means you're thinking about it.
Yeah,
period.
the intellect, right? It wants to grasp it. Yeah,
yes.
That's what happened yesterday. It can't.
It can't.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Well, Helga.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
I've
I just
loved
have
being with you guys. I hope this was helpful to you, and it was exciting for me to come back and speak with all you folks again.
It was really great having you. And I just have a couple of announcements before we're leaving. The first thing is that this webinar will be put out on our YouTube channel. It's like 3P and NO. And you can also find a lot of webinars there, both in Norwegian and in English. And this one will also have Norwegian subtitles for those who want to see it with the Norwegian subtitles. And the other thing, Dicken, and you are actually involved in this as well, but it is the 3PNO is collaborating with 3PGC. We are one of many international communities also working together and meeting 2 times a month. And this autumn we have no planning of webinars. Not by now, but we are participating in this really. I think this must. I watched your video today, Dicken, and you said this must be the best ever that's going to happen in 3PGC, and it is called the Ultimate Answer. It is I think 14 times on Tuesday evenings.
Tuesday evening, starting September 1st.
At least from 7 to 9, but you can also come at 6 and we watch the videos together. So every time it will be one video by Sydney Banks. And I love that they are saying the main speaker in this program is Sydney Banks. And then it's 1 hour with, for instance, Dicken Bettinger talking about the video, and then that something that is really new, and that is that the last hour we are going into small groups, and there will be one group for the Norwegian speaking community. So me and Øyvind is having that, And I also wanted to say the price is now quite okay, and you can also gain 25% discount on the price by contacting me on Messenger if you are part of the Tre Facebook group. So I hope to see some of you there.
Me too.
We'll see you there, Dicken.
I'll be doing the first and the last class.
So you got the ultimate answer video.
And yeah, I did.
Oh, you're lucky.
That's my favorite talk.
Yeah.
I was there when Sid gave that talk, and I got I talk about dropping in. Oh my God. I got a lot out of that. So I'd love to share that with people.
Oh, that's great. So, but from now we will thank you, Dicken, and thank you everyone for participating today. It's been really great. I have a whole screen full of people having their cameras on. It's been really, really great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So happy you have seen something new and joined this hour. Yeah, you got a lot of hearts now, Dicken.
Oh, it's very sweet. Thank you, folks.
And welcome back to Norway if you want sometimes.
Oh, I'd love to. Got a lot of friends there.
Yeah, you do.
All righty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Sweet dreams.
Når støyen stilner, åpner det seg noe godt og uendelig dypt inni meg. Her er det nærvær, her er det fred, her bor en visdom som viser meg vei. Stillheten er, og stillhet vil gi. Stillhet er stedet jeg hviler i. Stillhet er alt, stillhet er ingenting. Stillhet er kraften som alltid har tid. Stillheten kjennes, den er alltid her. Et rom uten ord, så god og så nær. Stillhet fra hjertet, stillhet i sinnet. Jeg vender hjem og bare er. Stillheten er, og stillhet vil gi. Stillhet er stedet jeg hviler i. Stillhet er alt, stillhet er ingenting. Stillhet rommet der tanken tar fri. Stillhet kjærlighet. Stillhet lyd.